Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to The Last Seats. This is Viddy.
And my name is Mrinal, and in this episode, Nashville finally wins a game.
Playing the parade, baby. We're back on.
Which leaves the San Jose Sharks as the only team to not have a win.
Oh, my God. And that's all, folks.
I mean, expected for the Sharks, right?
Right, yeah, of course.
But for
Rebuild.
Nashville, that's brutal.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about a couple of episodes ago about, teams that you should keep an eye out for. And, we were kind of just saying there's no real explanation needed for this team. This is a team that's just lethal, just brutal. They went now 1-5, right? I guess.
Yeah. They did go 0-5.
0-5 at one point, and they've won tonight. We're recording this on Tuesday, October 22nd, so they just won against the Bruins. But it is crazy that they started out this bad. I'm still shocked. I was like, what happened? Like, do they need another YouTube trip pretty soon?
Yeah, that was the.
Should they actually go to it?
That was the joke. If you've seen the Face Off documentary on Amazon Prime, they're like, well, we should plan a trip to the Sphere just to cancel it. That's what we'll get Nashville going.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm baffled by the whole thing. And Stamkos has not looked good. Marchessault has looked very mid compared to his Vegas days.
Marchessault is the third leading scorer in Nashville right now.
Yeah, but not what we expected in Vegas or what we've seen in Vegas, right? So what do you think is the problem here? What the hell is going on in Smashville?
It's got to be defense, right?
I
think this is an over-reliance on Saros, and Saros hasn't been world-beating.
Right.
This is probably one of his worst starts to a season in his career, but yeah.
Are you saying now, especially with the 4-0 shutout they had against Boston, now things are kind of returning back to normal?
I don't know. Getting it up for one game after you've been going 0-5, sure.
Yeah.
You got to keep it sustained, right?
Right, yeah. And just to have something going is, there's a lot of pressure on the goalie at that point. Sure, this probably feels like a great relief at some point.
Yeah.
Just
winning with authority too, 4-0.
Yeah, exactly. What's the phrase called? The monkey off your back.
Yeah.
And just it probably feels good for Saros' perspective, but guys, this offense gotta do better. You can't just use all your goals in one game and then just I'm curious to see. Obviously we can't predict the future, we can't see where they're going to go from here, but I'm very curious to know, is this going to be the turning point of are they going to get it together now? Because the Colorado Avalanche, they went a couple games longer in my opinion than they should have before they actually won anything, and now they're on a 3-game win streak, and I feel like things are somewhat back to normal there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it took Colorado winning against the Ducks, who they really should have won to kick that off, right? But Nashville beating the Bruins, who are a really good team this year, should be moralizing, right? But we'll have to see what happens from there.
Mm-hmm. Do you think this is more of we hear about it all the time in terms of sports psychology. Sometimes you just need to see the puck go in the net. And that just makes you feel so much better, even if it's an empty net thing. With that mentality, do you think Nashville is going to be on the way up, or is this, are they still way in their heads here?
I mean, it helps. I think it's good that Saros had the shutout.
Right.
Ryan O'Reilly scored one of the goals, but Marchessault didn't score this game. Stamkos didn't score this game. Those are the names you're looking to get going. Those are your big offseason acquisitions, and the reason why you were so hyped.
Yeah.
Right? But those players still haven't gotten going.
Right.
So if it's a psychology thing, maybe as a team it helps, but I think there's still a few pieces there, important pieces, that aren't going to be happy with this, right?
Right. And this is not a case of this is one of your top 10 draft picks or something. These are guys who have won cups, multiple.
Yeah.
Multiple for Stamkos, but either way, there's multiple cups within this forward roster. And 5 games seems like a little bit outrageous, especially when you've been with this team. It's not like a mid or a trade deadline acquisition, right?
Yeah.
This is you signed with this team. You've been practicing with this team. What the hell is going on here? Right?
5 games is a little too long to make the chemistry excuse.
Exactly. Yeah. Especially when you're getting paid $8 million a year for the next 4. And it's kind of shocking to say that Nashville has started out this poorly and Tampa is just doing fine without him.
How hard is Tampa laughing right now?
Yeah, especially the Frenchman, right? JBB. He's probably having a good chuckle to himself, but I don't know. It's
Breezeball is twirling his mustache behind the scenes.
Does he have a mustache?
I don't know. You said Frenchman, so I'm like,
oh, they just all have mustaches.
Yeah. Not even French.
He's twirling Philip Forsberg's mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, I'm hoping for Stamkos' sake that he does get it together, that this doesn't end up being somewhat of a regret. You know what I mean? Because in a weird way, this still reminds me of the Erik Karlsson situation in the sense that he went to San Jose and didn't fit in the system with Burns and all these other elite defensemen until he became the guy when everyone was traded away.
Yeah.
So is this team too talented? Is that what we're learning here?
No. Come on. It's not that talented.
I mean, why aren't they winning?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I still think it's a little bit of defense. Like certain keys of your offense aren't going, but others are. Forsberg and O'Reilly have been great.
Yeah.
So I mean, you'll get it together. I think power play probably could use some help here.
That's where Stamkos has been like at least somewhat decent.
You got Stamkos for the power play,
right? And he's been like robbed a couple times, but he's had for the most part a good showing. He scored one goal, but I can't remember which save it was, but there was one where like the shaft of the stick like basically stopped him, and at that point that's just got to be tough for the psychology, but. Yeah, I'm hoping that that's kind of what helps him propel him into like a more solid state, I guess.
Nashville right now is 2 for 14 on the power play for the season.
See, yeah, that's not okay. Especially when you have both Marchessault and Stamkos, you gotta do something about that.
Yeah,
you can't have Sharks level power plays like when you're expected to win a cup at this point, right?
So, yeah, I mean, with the acquisitions, you are in the cup conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It's just straight up just not good enough.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, no team has made the playoffs after losing 5 straight to open the season since 2005-2006, which means in the cap era, no team has done it.
There's always that phrase, you can't make the playoffs in October, but you can fall out of them.
You can miss them.
Yeah, which is wild, but are we jumping the gun here? Are we really writing off Nashville here just because of a poor start?
I don't know if we're writing off Nashville. We're saying history is not in their favor.
Right. I believe that, but we also have to go back and remember they were getting their ass kicked before that U2 trip. They lost to.
Well, they didn't go 0-5 to open the season.
Yeah, I know. But at the same time, they went on, or they had like an 11 games, or maybe more than that point streak.
It was like 15, 16.
Yeah, 15, 16 game point streak. I have a hard time believing they're going to do that again.
Yeah,
it just doesn't feel like sustainable. You can't just like bail on or rely on a Hail Mary to kind of just get you out of here.
Yeah, U2 doesn't play the Sphere anymore, so they can't do that again.
Can you imagine? They're going to have to change the goal song or something.
Barry Trotz is like, you know what? We're just going to cancel it. None of you are going to the Four Nations face-off.
Yeah. That would. I mean, at that point, I feel like you might have some pissed off like players at that point.
Some pissed off Bettmans.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's hard for me to point a finger at one single thing. Maybe it's the not great goaltending. Maybe it's the atrocious power play. But I'm a little perplexed by the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to see. I think today's game was a good step. We have to see if Nashville can take another.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, if they don't start taking steps here, season's gone to bust.
I think at this point, it's not just a matter of like, let's get consistent here. It's like, let's get good fast, because you got to turn the ship around really quick.
Absolutely. Let us know your thoughts on the Nashville Predators in the comments below. If you like this episode, drop a like on it. Hit subscribe if you want more Glass Seats. We have multiple episodes out every week. See you in the next one. Bye.